Everyone wants to know the secret to become rich. Like genuinely everyone. A formula, a shortcut, a method that always works. And I get it. We do what everyone does. We read books, we watch interviews, we follow habits and routines. However, here is the truth. There is no secret at all to become rich. There is no golden path that you could follow and then end up being rich. And I think the reason why people keep searching anyway is because we want life to work like a movie, where you find some map, you follow it, and at the end there is a treasure. Well, that could be possible if you are living in the Middle Ages, where people actually believe that kind of a thing. However, even at that time, that was a very rare case where only few got that lucky. So, what about our modern world? Well, today, that map treasure version is almost unreal, as long as you do not rob a bank or steal some money from somebody. But the money that comes this fast usually has the cost, and you will probably have to pay with your freedom, reputation, and of course with your future, which is gonna be ruined if you do so. So, if we are talking about the real wealth, the kind that you can build and keep, we have to stop chasing the secret and start doing the boring stuff that actually works. Let me explain what I mean. There is a huge gap between people who move forward and people who stay stuck. And no, it's not intelligence, it's not luck, it's how they think. Because books explain ideas, interviews show results, but what really changes someone's life is belief. And I don't mean positive vibes, I mean the kind of belief that makes you to do something. Because information alone never changes someone's life, only applied belief does. And most of the time, people simply do not apply it. They simply consume it and they feel productive. They confuse watching with building. Here's what people do not say out loud. Belief is not motivation. Belief is basically what your brain accepts as real. So, if deep down you don't believe that you can succeed, you might still try, but you will not stay in it long enough because your brain is gonna protect you from disappointment. So, you either quit early or you never fully commit. And that's why telling people just believe doesn't really help. Because the real question is, okay, how do I build belief? Simple idea. Belief is built from evidence. So, if your evidence is, I start things and quit, then your belief becomes I'm not consistent, even if you hate that about yourself. So, here are 4 ways to actually build belief. First step, small wins, not huge dramatical goals. Small wins that you can repeat. 2. Reps. Your brain doesn't change from one big moment, it changes from repetition. 3. Environment. If everyone around you is negative, broke, hopeless, that becomes your normal. Identity language. It's not like I'm trying, it's more like I am the type of the person who shows up. This is how confidence becomes real, not from consuming, but from proof. There is a way of thinking I love from Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. It's basically this. Wealth is mostly behavior, not intelligence. And if you want real life example, look at Warren Buffett. He didn't do anything flashy, he didn't chase trends, he didn't try to look cool. He just stayed consistent for a long time. And that's what people do not want to do, because consistency is boring. But boring is where the results come from. And let me be honest with you, there was a time when I was working on myself every day. I would watch videos, save quotes, buy books, and I felt like I was improving, but nothing was really changing. Because I wasn't really building anything, I was simply consuming. And later on, something kind of embarrassing hit me. I realized that I was using information simply as entertainment. It made me feel smart, but it didn't make me better. And everything changed when I started to track reps instead of ideas. Like, did I practice today? Did I shift something? Did I improve a little? Because now I had evidence. And that's where people get uncomfortable. People want a label to save them. a degree, a name, a stamp. But look, you can study anywhere like Harvard, Stanford, MIT, but still end up being someone average. And someone else can study somewhere normal or can come from nowhere at all, but if they practice a certain skill long enough, they fail, they learn, adjust, and repeat, they start seeing results. Because what really matters isn't where you studied, but what you believe you can do and whether you can stay in it long enough to get good. Let me share a mindset shift that hit me. Imagine 3 people, each one making $1 million. Same numbers, totally different meaning. Person A makes $1 million in years. They understand the process, they know what actions create money, so the million feels repeatable. Person B makes $1 million once, maybe luck, timing, one big deal, but they don't really know why it happened. So they panic. They either lose it or they never do it again. Person C is working hard, but they can't even see the path. Not because they are dumb, not because they are lazy, it's because their belief system doesn't let the goal feel real, so they don't take the right actions consistently or long enough. And this is the hard truth. The goal isn't hidden, but the path is invisible until you train your vision. This is why Atomic Habits is so powerful. It explains something most people ignore. You do not get results from one big breakthrough, you get results from what you repeat. And it matters because skill is built the same way, not from one lucky moment, not from talent, but from reps. Small improvements done consistently turn into real ability, and real ability creates value. And that's why people who look lucky aren't actually lucky, because they built systems that kept them improving when nobody was watching. And after a while, your brain starts collecting evidence like, oh, I'm actually that person now. Not because you said it, but because you proved it. So the point is still the same. Skills create options. Options create choices, and choices create results. Because money follows value, and value comes from skill. People always ask, okay, where do I start? And honestly, it's simple, but not easy. Start acting like someone who can succeed, because your actions follow your identity. If you see yourself as someone who quits, you quit. But if you see yourself as someone who shows up, you show up, even when it's boring. And this is why your biggest enemy isn't the competition, but it's your old identity. And this is where a lot of people mess up. They copy. But in 0 to 1, Peter Thiel talks about building your own path, not cloning someone else. Because someone can come up to you and say, hey bro, do this, and this is how you make money. And this might be true for them, but not for you, because it may not fit your strengths, your personality, and you may not simply last long in it. So it's okay to learn from someone else, but do not use their life like it's a template. Now we'll talk about the second part. Belief alone isn't enough. Discipline is what turns your belief into real life. Because motivation comes and goes, but discipline, it shows up when motivation disappears. And the person who's gonna win isn't the person who starts strong, but the person who keeps going even when it gets boring. A lot of people think that the hardest part is starting, but in reality, it's the middle part. When nobody's clapping, when the progress feels slow, when you are not sure if it's working, but this is the phase that makes you. And if you survive this phase, you're gonna have something rare. You're gonna have proof that you are not gonna quit. And that proof is gonna make your confidence become real. Think about Amazon in the early years. Back then, a lot of people even didn't understand the internet. And Jeff Bezos told to people close to him that his company one day would be worth $100 billion. And at that time, they didn't believe him. They simply adopted and loved it. But he believed it. He believed it before there was a proof. And that belief shaped his decisions, his patience. And years later, the reality caught up. And that's how big things get built. You believe first and evidence later. And this reminds me of The Alchemist. Not in Magic Universe way, but more like this. Most of the people, they wait till they feel ready. They wait till the path becomes clear. But the clarity usually shows up once you start moving. So you walk first and then you see. I'm not successful yet. I'm still building just like you, but I made a choice to act instead of watch, to believe instead of doubt, to build instead of wait. There is no secret to become rich at all. There is belief built through evidence. There is decision, there is discipline, and there is action. And if you keep walking, the clarity will come. And the craziest part is that the map appears only once you start walking.